All right, good evening, everyone. We want to welcome everyone for joining in on this wonderful chance to hear from a few people who have seen a variety of results from using Plexus. Myself and Maureen Perez will be co-hosting this event tonight and introducing some amazing people who have volunteered to share their story with us. If you're an ambassador joining in to learn more, we are so grateful to have you here, and we welcome any insight that you may have by posting any comments on our event page on Facebook. If you're a customer or a potential customer joining us tonight, we also welcome you to share your questions for those sharing or for any questions in general that you have on our Facebook event. My name is Cassandra Starker. I'm a Silver Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I've been an ambassador since October of 2014, and I have heard so many stories of how Plexus has helped people with a variety of different things. The people who will be sharing tonight are based in Wisconsin, and each and every one has a different story to share. So before we begin, Maureen will introduce herself, and she will share with you a disclaimer, since we're sharing stories that are personal and they vary from person to person.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maureen Perez, and I am a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I've been in Plexus since July of 2014. I'm really grateful that you're here tonight. Thank you for joining in on the call, and I wanted to share with you that this presentation tonight is brought to you by Plexus Independent Ambassadors and is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. We want you to know that the results that you're about to hear may vary from person to person, and we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any diseases with Plexus products. So our first ambassador here tonight is my handsome husband, Rob Perez, and we've been married 27 years, and he, you talk about a skeptic. This guy was like the biggest skeptic ever. But he's had amazing results, and can't wait for you to hear tonight his story. And here you go.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'd like to thank you for joining us. I started my Plexus journey in July of 2014. I got started in Plexus because my neighbor, who is now my sponsor, wouldn't give up on me. He couldn't hold or hide his enthusiasm for Plexus, and we saw what it was doing for him. And finally, after 3 weeks, we looked into it ourselves. We did the research, we went online, learned about it, saw what it was doing for other people. And for me personally, I saw how it was helping people with autoimmune diseases like diabetes and multiple sclerosis. That's significant for me because my father passed away from diabetes and my mother passed away from from multiple sclerosis. And as a young boy, I always told myself that I was going to become a doctor so that I could figure out how I could help mom and dad and get them better. While I didn't go on to become a doctor, I went on to become a cabinet designer, so of all things. But in learning about Plexus, I found that it was really making a difference in the lives of so many people. And that was one of the ways I could maybe live out that dream of becoming a doctor, was getting involved with this company. And so we ordered some samples, ordered some product, and I started taking them. I was also struggling and dealing with high cholesterol and high triglycerides and elevated liver enzymes and high blood pressure. All of these things were being regulated with medications, pharmaceuticals. And I also had gained quite a bit of weight after 20-some years of marriage. And so I wasn't doing anything to help myself. And I knew I needed to do something different. So I was glad to get started with Plexus for all the health reasons, including weight loss. I'm glad to say that it helped me lose 30 pounds and over 13 inches. And all of my blood measurables are now at healthy levels. I'm not taking any pharmaceuticals whatsoever to regulate any of those blood measurables. and I have more energy. I no longer have joint pain, and I have a little more focus. I don't have cravings for donuts. I had a problem with donuts. You know, I would anything baked good, but specifically cake donuts, fudge covered frosted cake donuts specifically, and I'd make excuses to go get the donuts. At first, it was just a convenience item, and I'd get my coffee and I'd get donuts while I was getting gas. Before I knew it, I was getting donuts just to get the donuts, and I don't have those cravings anymore. So I really give credit to Plexus because that's really one of the things that I've changed. It's also given me the drive to eat healthier. So it's not like I had to do anything different. And honestly, quite honestly, I have not. I just choose to eat differently. It's not like I had to, and that's the beauty of Plexus, is that you live your life, eat sensibly. You know, if you want great results, it's going to take great effort. That's what I like to say now. And the more effort you put into it, like anything in life, the better it's going to work for you. And it has. The funny thing is that I started taking Plexus products. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I was having some kind of reaction to Plexus, or maybe my body was reacting to getting cleaned up, and I was struggling through the cleanup process, so to speak. Uh, One of the things Plexus talks about is die-off, and I thought, well, maybe I'm doing such a good job of cleaning my gut and getting my system healthy again that I'm kind of suffering through it, and these are so-called growing pains. And it turns out I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I kind of made light of it at first, thinking I'm just struggling through and I'll just push through it all. But I ended up getting Bell's palsy on the left side of my face, and I realized that as I was brushing my teeth, and I tried to gargle and just dribbled down my face. So that really freaked me out, and I had to go and find out what was going on. And sure enough, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. I'm glad I've taken these Plexus products. I don't know if they, I don't want to imply that they'll do anything for you like they've done for me. I've seen such great results in so many people. I myself have experienced great results. I don't have any recurring symptoms. I feel blessed, and I think I owe it to Plexus. I haven't changed anything else. And I hear so many stories about how Lyme disease has really hurt the lives of people. Just their daily living has been affected adversely by Lyme disease, and I don't suffer any of that. So I feel blessed and fortunate to have learned about Plexus. I currently am on the Triplex, and X Factor, and Mega X, and those are what I would call the Fab Five that I consistently take daily. And I also add in Ease and Nerve Health Support and the shakes. But that's my regimen. That's my story, and I'm glad to be here to share it with. If only one person will try because I did and feel half as good as I do, I'd be glad for you. So I'm glad to participate. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for sharing your story with us. We have our next Plexus ambassador is my beautiful daughter, Alyssa Williams. And she is a wife, a mother of two, of the cutest kids in the world. And she is a stay-at-home mom, and so happy that Plexus has changed their life so much and given her an opportunity to be home doing this business and raising her family at the same time. So, Alyssa, let's hear your story.
All right. Thanks, Mom. Hello, everyone. Okay, so my story first started with my parents. I was at their house when they were getting the Plexus spiel, and my parents said, you know, just somebody's going to come over, talk about some MLM, and I mean, we're not interested, but afterwards, you know, we'll have dinner or whatever we were doing that day. So my husband and I listened in, and I know my parents had been in other MLMs, so I knew that it wasn't something that would interest them again to join another MLM because I know they quit the other ones for a reason. So I listened to the spiel and I was like, okay, I'm healthy. I'm 24, something like that at the time, 23. Just had a baby, ate right, exercised, that sort of thing. So, the health aspect wasn't really intriguing to me. Our budget was tight, so, extra product. I didn't see the need to spend any money on some health supplements. And I hated vitamins. I thought, they were kind of pointless. So anyways, listened to the spiel, and I was like, well, I was intrigued by the business side of it because we were kind of struggling to make ends meet, and or I guess we weren't, and the savings account was kind of dwindling, so that was intriguing, but my parents had done MLMs, and they, aren't interested, so it's not a good way to earn money is what I'd thought and been brought up hearing. So kind of dismissed it. About 2 weeks later or something like that, my parents said that they were signing up, and I was floored. I was like, okay, maybe there is something to this. I'll sign up too. So I joined the company, and mostly for the business aspect, and then I started taking the products, and that's when it changed because when I thought that my health couldn't improve, I was shocked because it came to a point where I couldn't live without the Plexus products. Prior to Plexus, I was a new mom with a 6-month-old little boy. I was exhausted. My house was a disaster because I didn't have the energy to clean it. I barely had the energy to take care of my son. I got through the day by, powering it with crappy food that's in the pantry. It was a really difficult state of life for me because I felt bad that I didn't have energy, which made me kind of just want to sit on the couch because I felt so bad that I couldn't do anything. As a stay-at-home mom, it was like everything that I was supposed to do wasn't getting done, and so that was really difficult for me. Until Plexus, by the third day, I was like a brand new wife and mom. I was running around, the house was cleaned, dinner was on the table. I had so much energy. It changed my life as a mom and wife, and made my husband really happy. So that was probably the biggest thing, is the energy. I also wasn't, the food in the pantry wasn't getting me through the day and wasn't my main source of happiness throughout the day. So that was huge, and within the first few weeks, I was below my pre-pregnancy weight. I was wearing clothes that I hadn't worn in like 6 years. So that was huge after I had a baby. I also noticed my brain fog was gone. That was difficult for me. There's pregnant brain, and then on top of pregnant brain, brain fog. So it was kind of a bad combo. Stories took a long time to tell. Some other things that I love about Plexus are the sugar cravings. Way less sugar cravings, and like I said, my day didn't revolve around the goodies I got out of the pantry. I always struggled with dehydration, and this was so much worse when I was pregnant and nursing, because you have to have so much liquid when you're pregnant, and then also when you're nursing, all that liquid has to go to your baby. So for those of you who know me, I had huge dry patches on my knees, on my elbows, on my feet. My hands would crack and bleed to the point where I couldn't play instruments because it was too painful, and I got blood everywhere. So that was really bad, and as soon as I started the X Factor, which is this little guy, the multivitamin, it completely cleared up. All of my dehydration was gone. And a lot of pregnant women get cramps during their pregnancy, and I was one of them, probably because of dehydration as well. And those completely went away once I started the multivitamin too. So I was finally able to drink enough water to where my body could function well and my skin would look normal and healthy. So that was huge. Mood stabilizing, my husband loves. It just, everything seems a little bit brighter when I am on Plexus. Less overwhelmed, less stressed out, and as a young mom, that's huge. More regular, which is difficult when you're pregnant and nursing. So that's a blessing for me. Less bloating and digestion issues. Throughout my pregnancy with Carl, which was without Plexus, I couldn't eat gluten for like a few months in my pregnancy because I'm assuming it was just really difficult on my digestion, and I would be in serious pain if I ate any sort of gluten. So I didn't have that with my second pregnancy at all. Like I said, was below my pre-pregnancy weight and a lot of less inflammation. I'll share my pregnancy, my pre-Plexus pregnancy photo of when I just had the baby, and I guess not pregnancy photo, but the photo of when I just had my first and when I just had my second. And my first is without Plexus, and my other photo is with Plexus. So the inflammation is just incredible. Muscle definition, I finally had abs. Had because I just had a baby again. But after starting Plexus, I finally had abs without working out any more than I did before. And better hair and nails, which is a big thing for me because I have very thin and very fine and straight hair. So to finally have some body was a big blessing for me. And also, I've just loved the friendships that I've gained, reconnecting with old friends, especially as a stay-at-home mom. It's easy to just stay inside and not reach out to other people because you don't have to. You can spend the whole day just talking to your babies. So having an excuse to reach out to people has been a big blessing for me too. To reconnect with old friends, meet new ones, and get to know new ones even better. That's been huge for me, and also personal development, which is also something that you don't really think about as a stay-at-home mom, to keep up personal development because you don't have a boss or other workforces and sharing with you or that has been something that I enjoy, kind of stepping outside of life with babies. So anyways, that's my story, and I hope it helps all of you. But the difference between pregnancy with Plexus and nursing has just been incredible because I've done them both, without Plexus and with Plexus. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Alyssa, for sharing your pre-Plexus pregnancy and your post-Plexus pregnancy story with us. Next, we have Julie. Julie is a mom of 5. She is an art and promotional specialist with Land's End. And in her free time, she enjoys watching movies, playing board games with her friends and family, and traveling. Before Plexus, she was involved in another MLM business for over 20 years. And she hopes that her story will help to save people from health concerns such as their own, and help to free people from the pharmaceutical meds and unnecessary doctor visits as well. She also would like to help people achieve financial freedom. Welcome, Julie.
And I'm honored to share my story with you about how Plexus saved my life. I started Plexus May of 2015 after I collapsed at work and didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't even realize that I was sick, and found out that I have a crazy blood disease that's very rare, and my body stores too much iron, which in turn attacks my liver and my heart. So after dealing with doctors for about 8 months, lack of a better word, I was feeling hungover for 8 months of my life. I was really lethargic and achy and just nauseous and just not feeling well. Um, After working with 2 doctors and a GI doctor, I was getting liver flushes and getting my blood drained twice a week, and nothing was helping me feel better. And I had ran into a friend of mine, which introduced me to Plexus, and told her, nope, not interested. I was a very big skeptic. Like Cass said, I worked for another MLL company for 20 years. Not that it was anything with supplements. However, I just kind of thought it was one of those things again. I tried the other programs and, as far as weight loss, and nothing worked that way. So when I was introduced to this, I was very, very skeptical. So she gave me a sample, and I just took it basically to tell her to shut up. And so she called me a couple weeks later and asked me what I thought of the sample, and I said, I don't know, I haven't taken it. So after some urging from her, since it was, a free sample, I decided to take it. And the very next day, I felt something. I wasn't sure what it was. And by the third day, all my symptoms were gone that I was dealing with for 8 months, and they've stayed gone. To me, it's an absolute blessing to find Plexus. My numbers, my liver numbers are very close to being normal. I am not in liver failure any longer. My GI doctor is in absolute awe, wondering, what this Plexus stuff is all about. And he said, just keep doing what you're doing. It has lowered my blood pressure. It has lowered my cholesterol. I sleep better at night. I used to wake up, 2, 3 times a night, just kind of waking up, looking at the clock, going back to bed. And now I actually sleep all the way through the night, and I'm very refreshed the next morning. I'm off my depression medicine. I'm off my anti-anxiety medicine, which I've had for, 15 plus years. So that's really exciting. I was addicted to Mountain Dew, drank 6 to 8 just working, during the day, and then came home and drank another 6-pack. I no longer drink Mountain Dew anymore. Plexus has completely taken away the cravings. I lost 14 pounds and 4 inches. I feel better than I ever have in 20 years. I've got 2 grandbabies coming on the way, so I'm really excited to be able to be healthy and alive still, to be able to enjoy them. So the products that I take, I started out with the Triplex, which is the Slim, the Bio 5, and the Bio Cleanse. And then I also added the Accelerator for the weight loss, the Block for the weight loss, the Mega X, I believe, contributes to my better sleep. And then a couple times a week I do the P96 shakes, which are fantastic. I was never a shake person at all. I always thought that they were too gritty. And ours are just fantastic. They're very smooth. I do mine with the Slim, and it tastes just like a McDonald's shake. So thank you very much for listening. And in closing, I would just really urge you to reach out to the ambassador that invited you to watch, because skeptic no more. And, it's all these stories that I keep continually hearing about how much it's, helping and saving people, and the financial freedom that I just wish I would have started this sooner. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie, for sharing your story with us, your life-changing story. Our final story that we have tonight is Heather. Heather is a mom of 3 who has been an RN for over 12 years. In her spare time, she likes to ride her Harley and spend as much time outside with her family as possible. Her amazing energy is contagious, and I know her story is going to inspire many people. Welcome, Heather.
Hey, sorry. Thanks for that beautiful introduction, Cassie. Okay, so yes, my name is Heather Mashevsky. I'm 44. I have been an RN for over 12 years. I have 3 kids ranging from 25 to 6. And I have 1.5 grandchildren. I have a 1-year-old grandson, and then I have a grandchild on the way. I started Plexus products November last year. So I've been on them for just over a year, and I started them because my sister made me. She loves me very much, and she knows that I had been suffering, severely suffering from back pain. My whole life I've had scoliosis, and over the previous 10 years, I had been in so much pain that it had debilitated me to a couple points. My back had finally given out about 8 years ago, and I ended up not being able to work as a nurse. I lost my job because of my back, and I had been on Vicodin for a very long time. By the time my back went out, I was taking about 3 Vicodin a day, and after treatments and going to the back doctor and being put on prescriptions, I was up to taking about 5 Vicodin a day. And that was for me to be able to get through the day. And then at the end of the night, I would take muscle relaxers to help my back relax so I could go to sleep and get a good night's sleep. Enough was enough. I couldn't do it anymore. I was struggling. I was constantly having brain fog. Can't do that as being a nurse or being a mom. So my sister prompted me, and I started. I only started the Plexus Slim. I didn't take any of the other products. I just started the Plexus Slim. And it was approximately 3 to 4 weeks later, we were sitting in a meeting, and I realized that I didn't have any more back pain. I was sitting there talking, listening to everyone talk about their stories, and I was like, yeah, I just started the products because my sister made me. And I was like, holy cow, I have no more back pain. I haven't been taking my pills. I haven't been taking my pills. And I sat there looking like a total dork, being all sporadic, saying over and over, I haven't taken my pills. But seriously, I hadn't taken my Vicodin. I was so I was such an unusual state. I wasn't having any pain that I didn't really know what it was like. And for me to be sitting there realizing I hadn't taken my meds just floored me. It was something that just didn't happen. It hadn't happened for 10 years because my meds went every place I went. I continued taking the products, of course. I went to my back doctor. He was amazed. He was floored. He didn't believe it. He thought it was a fluke. So I continued. I did start the Pro Bio 5, and I started the Bio Cleanse, but I maintained on the Slim. I have continuously taken the Slim every single day since I started back on November 8th, is the day I started last year, or 2 years ago, so in 2014. Because just this past November it was a year. And I can say I have not had one Vicodin since somewhere in the mid-December. Can't remember when it was, but I haven't taken any in January, any in February at all. And I've taken less than 30 since I started in 2014. My back doctor has gotten rid of my script. I have no more muscle relaxers whatsoever. And my Vicodin, he decided that we were just going to keep what I have, which is just a handful of pills, and we're just going to kind of go as go. He actually told me he was going to prescribe it for me, so he wrote a script for me to continue taking my Slim and anything else that helps me. He calls it my witch's brew, so we giggle, but he's amazed. This is a doctor that I told him when he retires that his wife is just going to have to understand me coming over to their house because I was going to have to see him on a regular basis. I will forever need to go to my doctor. My scoliosis will forever be there. It will always change. My curve will always increase. I do preventative exercises and inversion tables to help maintain my spine. But as for the discomfort, I just don't have it. I bought a Harley. I get to ride my Harley. My husband, my sister, and my brother-in-law and I went all the way out to Wyoming on our motorcycles. I would never have been able to do that previously. I was in the Dirty Girl mud run with my 17-year-old daughter. We did 2 events. I never would have been able to do that. And I just constantly do things with my kids. We go ice skating all the time now. This is something, we just all bought ice skates as a family. This is something I never would have been able to do because I couldn't handle the back pain. So the products literally saved my life. I don't know where I would be without them. I know I would have a very different life because I was just going downhill fast. And unfortunately, my family was having to make up for my shortcomings. So my products will forever be in my life, the Plexus products. That's it.
Heather, did you want to share just before we end how you are trying to have your doctor write you a prescription for the Slim?
Yes, sure. My doctor, because I am no longer on I was on a pain contract. Of course, when you take that many Vicodin, you're on a pain contract. I was on a pain contract, and since I've been able to consistently show my insurance company that I have not used my script, so my doctor did actually write a script for me. He's proceeded to see me, and normally when I would see him every 8 weeks, he would refill my prescriptions. So far, every time I've gone, he's taken away another prescription because I was on 2 different muscle relaxers plus my Vicodin, scheduled and PRN, which was as needed. So there was 4 scripts that had to be gotten rid of. I'm now not on anything. I just have a handful of pills left, so we're calling it like my PRN pills, but I haven't used them in the 2 months. So I've consistently gone the last couple months showing I haven't used any pills, so he wrote me the scripts for my Plexus Slim. He specifically wrote on there chromium, that I need to take my chromium in the form of Plexus Slim, and he wrote a letter, and he has now submitted that to my insurance company. So we're trying to see where that goes, but because it has helped me so dramatically, I was having trigger point injections about every 3 months, and I had 2 radio frequencies performed. You can only usually have 2 a year. I have the max on 3 different levels of my spine. So because I haven't needed those, he is trying to do that with my insurance company. So we'll see where it goes. I'm super excited. I really hope it works because it truly has taken away my prescriptions. The only thing I'm on now is, my Plexus. And once in a while, Tylenol if something goes bad. But I use the Ease cream, and I just started trying the Ease pills. But otherwise, I just really don't even need anything. So, but I will let you guys know how the insurance goes.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
I see these people a lot and hear their stories, but I will tell you, I just never get tired of hearing their stories. It's just amazing to me. I get so excited to see what these natural plant-based products do for people. And these are people in our community. It can be people in your community too. And I thank you all for joining in tonight. I thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be with us here tonight. And I thank every one of you for sharing your story tonight. You just are amazing, wonderful people. And please make sure that when if this is something that you want or you want more information, please go to the person who invited you to this event tonight, contact them, and ask them for more information. And thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing your story tonight. Hope everyone has a good night.
Thank you.